Megan.
How's school and everything?
It's doing great. I recently joined the fitness team and arts club.
Oh, that's nice. Are you nervous?
A little bit.
Oh, okay.
Hi, hello. My name is Melanie. I'm the nurse that's going to be helping you guys with the diabetic management. May I ask who is Irish?
My name is Irish.
Irish.
Nice to meet
Hi,
you.
nice to meet you. And you are?
Oh, I'm the mother.
The mom. What's your name?
Camille.
Camille?
Nice to
All right,
meet
great.
you.
It's very nice to meet you. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing okay.
We're
Yeah.
doing great today.
Both doing great? Okay, so before we begin, since this is mainly about you, Irish, I just want to confirm, are you okay about talking about your diabetes in front of your mom?
Yeah, she can stay during the discussion.
That's good. Good child.
All right, so great. So I read in your report that you've been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Do you fully understand what that means? Do you have any questions in regards to that?
All I know is that type 1 diabetes is when my body doesn't make enough insulin.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make enough insulin, so Dr. Smith told me that I have to take insulin to lower my blood sugar level.
All right, that's great. So you seem to have a good idea about what that is. Just as a reminder, this is something that is going to be lasting throughout your whole entire life. So I'm here today just to kind of teach you some things to manage it, how to watch out for your glucose levels, how to take your insulin, kind of lifestyle changes. All right, so if there's any questions that you may have, just don't be afraid, like for both of you, just to kind of insert those questions and I'll be more than happy to answer them to the best of my ability.
That's very good.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, no worries. So I also read on your report that Dr. Smith had asked for a diet log.
Yeah, I actually have it prepared here.
You have it, great. So we're going to be talking about this a bit later on. What I first want to start talking about is the glucometer. So you are going to be receiving a glucometer. Let's kind of break down how this works. So what it's used for is to check your glucose levels. So it's going to come with the glucometer itself, your test strips, and your needles. So these needles, they do come in a pen as well if you would like that. It's just basically turning the dial to a different size or in millimeters, and then you're going to be pricking your finger. So the way that it works is that you want to start off by turning this on. You're going to be getting your test strip.
Pay attention.
Okay. They have to use a new one every time, right?
Yes, so a new needle and a new test strip should be used every time. So once you get your test strip, you're just going to be inserting it here at the bottom. It's going to load. It's going to let you know that it's on. Afterwards, you want to make sure that your hands are clean. You're going to be pricking the tip of your fingertip.
Can I use any of my fingertip or just one?
Yeah, you can use any of your fingertips as long as it's clean, because you don't want to, have sugar on your fingers, and then that's going to create a false reading. So all you're going to do is that you're going to open up your needle, you're going to prick your finger with some force. If you have the pen, it's just going to press the button. All you're going to do is that you're going to press that blood up until you have a little droplet there, enough to fill the strip. So you got to make sure there's enough to fill it. If it's not filled enough, it's going to be an error and you're going to have to start again.
What do I do if there's not enough blood to go?
So not enough, you want to just try pushing and applying force upwards
so
to
just
where
upwards
you
like
prick.
this? Okay.
Yeah, upwards just like that. Then you're just going to insert, making sure the blood's filling. Wait a few moments. I'm just going to tell you your glucose levels. So that's really just the gist of how that works.
Where do I usually put the sharp thing?
For the needle, you are going to be getting a sharps container just because we don't want this in the garbage. It'll pose a risk for children or anyone that may come in contact with it. So we will be giving you a sharps bin. Just put it in, take it to your local pharmacist, and they'll change it for you.
How often does she need to do this?
So it's suggested that she takes her blood glucose before and after her meals, just so
It's like
she's.
every day I take.
Yes, it should be a daily thing. So taking it every day, before and after meals, before and after exercise if you do exercise. Are you physically active
Yeah.
recently?
Yeah, I just recently joined the fitness team and
Okay. So what does that usually require? Is that more like weightlifting, running
kind
around?
of, yeah, we kind of do like some cardio exercise, we do lifting as well.
Okay.
Yeah, some of those exercises.
All right. So you want to make sure you're going to be checking your glucose levels before and after, because like your body's going to want to use that sugar up. So you just want to be wary of that. So you want to also maintain a normal range of 4.0 to 7.0 millimoles per liter. That's just the unit that it's measured in, just so that you're not fluctuating one way or the other. It's stabilizing it. And I would also like you to keep a log of your glucose when you do take it and when you do take your insulin. So do you have any questions on how to use the glucometer?
Not really. I just have a question. What if my blood sugar goes really low or it goes really high? What would I feel during those times?
So some of the signs and symptoms that you may feel when you are going low is some shakiness, sweating. You are going to feel hungry, as well as tired and some lightheadedness and dizziness. When you are high, you're going to be feeling a lot of agitation. You're going to be
So when she's
urinating.
yelling at her mom, it's
So does it mean?
okay.
I wouldn't call it an excuse,
It is
but
that.
it'd be a reason to check the blood glucose levels. I wouldn't just kind of be like, you're yelling at me, you're high.
Okay.
But you are gonna feel agitated. You are gonna want to use the bathroom more frequently because since the insulin, the way that it works is that it goes in the body, goes to your cells to allow the glucose in your blood to be absorbed into the cells so you can use it. But since it's just sitting in your blood, your body wants to get rid of it, so it's gonna do that by urinating. So when you have to use the bathroom. With urination, like more frequently, you're gonna want to drink more water. So you're gonna be a little more thirsty, and sometimes this, like a later sign and symptom is that you are gonna have some blurred vision.
This is for when I'm
That's for
feeling
when
high.
you're
right.
you're feeling
Okay.
high.
Okay. That's actually a lot of information to take in. But
Yeah.
what should I do if that happens to me? Like,
So when you are high and or low, you just want to make sure that you're checking your glucose level immediately, just so that you can understand what's happening. For when you are high, you want to be taking your insulin. And then I'm gonna go into how to take that in a moment. And when you are low, we're really gonna suggest that you eat something, right? You wanna have something of a more natural sugar or just something that's gonna spike you up in those times of need.
can I eat like a cookie or a
So-
chocolate bar?
I would wanna refrain from having those like refined sugars. Try to have something more natural. If you feel like your sugar is going really, really low or your glucometer is saying that you are at like a 2.5, I would suggest having these glucose tablets called a Adex4. They're mainly for people who have diabetes. It's just a quick, efficient way to bring up that sugar in the meantime so that they can actually go get
So
something
maybe we
to
can
eat.
buy that later, Mom.
Yeah, so you can
We'll
buy
have to
that.
see if it's covered by insurance.
You won't need to worry about insurance. You can get this at your local like No Frills or like your grocery stores. They do have it more readily available. It's not like a prescribed thing. It's just, you know,
Oh,
something
okay.
that you guys can afford.
That's good.
That's good to know.
Yeah, because single mom and working so hard and don't have enough time sometimes, and I just want to make sure she's okay, right?
Yeah, I can totally understand where you're coming from, but it is very affordable.
Diet, right? What should I cook this time now? Like,
Yeah,
Well,
usually-
what is your diet?
well,
usually
we're,
like?
we're
Usually-
Filipino, so white rice always.
I definitely like my white rice.
Yeah.
Like usually lunch, dinner.
Lunch, dinner
Sometimes,
is a
yeah,
go-to
sometimes
thing.
sometimes breakfast as well.
Yeah. So white rice does have like a lot more sugar in it, and like the starch that's in it's like
So
kind of
does
hard
it
to.
mean I cannot have my white rice?
We should limit, sweetie.
You
Limit.
can, there's options
Right?
to limit, and or you can also do brown rice or
Maybe
quinoa
we can
or like
try
other
brown rice.
alternatives
Right?
to it. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of read through your your daily diet. So you do seem to have like a lot of rice, as we just discussed about. So cereal. What kind of cereal do you have?
Usually like the ones that are really sweet.
Do you like
Like
any
the
of
honey one or some of them that have like dry fruits and all that. Or sometimes the
Okay.
chocolate flavored ones. I
the
like.
chocolate beer,
Yeah.
kind of like the Nesquik ones?
Yeah, that
Yeah?
ones, yeah.
So you want to make sure that you kind of refrain from that. You can have like alternate like cereals or like, for example, oatmeal. Cheerios are a good
Cheerios.
option. Just like make sure
Just
it's
the
the
plain
original
ones, or
one. You can do the multigrain one. That's, you know,
Okay.
More.
not bad. It's better than having those like Cocoa Puffs and those.
What
like,
about my milk? Can I use like 2% milk or it has to be lower?
You should be fine for your milk. I wouldn't just be having like too much.
Too much.
It's like the saying of like having too much of something is not a good thing. You just want to make sure that you're having it in
limit this
moderation.
time, okay? Moderation. No more eating out with all your
Yeah, and I also see a lot of like high fat,
Yeah,
high
usually
like,
during
carbs.
school time, like at lunchtime, I usually like buying at the cafeteria,
Okay.
like protein or like hamburgers and all that. So
One thing that I would suggest that you may want to take interest in trying is just kind of meal planning. Just since like mom, you're busy, I think this would be a good way for you to plan out like a whole
week's worth.
with,
a whole week or like a few days, because
yeah.
Okay.
you may not want to have the same foods every single time. You want to have your options. So like a 3-day or 4-day period, just making sure you have enough like grains, your vegetables, your meats. So it's a balanced diet instead of having these like cravings. And I understand that you are going to have these cravings.
Yeah.
You can have a little bit of them, but I wouldn't just go out of your way to like take in more and more and more. So you just gotta kind of moderate that.
Yeah, you have to limit those, baby.
Especially when you're doing your glucose levels, you're gonna kind of see how those types of foods will affect you. So we're gonna get a say about this, because when you do your daily logs, I will want you to come back like within a month, just so that we can see the patterns that are trending. And I also want you to keep a diary log of your meals.
Just keep on going with
Yeah,
it,
just
you
keep
know.
on going. And you mentioned that you were exercising, or you're part of this fitness team,
Yeah,
right?
I just recently joined the fitness team.
All right.
so-
Do you know the type of like skills that you do, like the type of exercises it is?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we were doing like some cardio, we were doing some exercise, and all
Right.
that. But what will be the best like option for me to do for?
For you, first of all, just make sure when you're exercising, checking before and after. But you want to make sure that you're doing a lot of aerobic exercises. So that's kind of with your cardio. So you're running,
Yeah.
walking, jogging, swimming. If you do swimming, if that's a part of it, or biking. Those are perfectly okay for you to do. Just make sure that, again, once you're done like that physical exhaustion, that you're checking your levels and making
So
sure
what
you
is
have
the
snacks with
timeline
you.
of how many minutes should I do it, like in a day or?
So you want to be doing it roughly to 15 to 30 minutes,
Okay.
kind of like, not every day, you don't have to do it every day. If you like to, good. I
So,
would
like
want to
most of
promote
the
that,
times
but
during the
most
week?
of the week.
Just concerned because like she could also pass out, right? Because of low blood sugar during those exercises.
Yes.
What should she like?
So
some
what I
think,
would
yeah.
suggest is that if you're going to a gym and it's a consistent base, well, first of all, you may want to purchase medical alert bracelet.
Right.
Just in case that you were to pass out, you don't want to be left there alone. A lot of people like that are trained in first aid, especially those fitness programmers, they will have knowledge about what to check if there's medical bracelets, so they'll be able to help you out and call for help. But I would suggest like having a buddy, having your snacks with you if you ever feel like you're running low, and if you are really concerned about it or you know that your workout's going to be very strenuous, I would suggest just telling the fitness programmer that you trust, because you don't have to tell them, but if you trust them enough to tell them to just keep an eye out for you, that'd be something else.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just as like other precautions.
I'll let all your teachers know and
Yeah.
Especially my fitness.
oh yeah, for
supervisor.
your coaches, whoever.
Coaches,
I will-
especially
I will-
coaches,
I will
I would let them know, just in case, because I know for schools they do get that history from you, but you know, teachers see a lot of kids, and you may not remember, so
Okay.
we just let them know. So, into your insulin.
Okay.
All right, so for your age, since you are 15, correct?
15 years old.
You're still in high school. There are different options that you may have. Your doctor did prescribe an insulin pen because that's more like accessible. It's
Okay.
easy. You can take it outside with you without it
So
being affected.
do I have to bring it all the time with me?
Yes, you do have to bring it all the time with you, especially since you're going to be eating. There's going to be those spikes. And if you were to indulge in like your lovely cafeteria food, there are going to be those spikes. So you want to make sure you have this on with you your entire life. It's like your new best friend that you're kind of taking with you. So the way that it works is that you are going to be having these vials of your insulin that are going to be inserted at the top of the pen. Alright, so all you're going to be doing is, inserting it, making sure like the date is correct, the prescription is correct, and that it is full. You want to make sure the fluid is like clear. It is going to be like a white cloudy. If it's turning into a stingy like yellowish color, it's not
It
good.
means
Do
that
not
you
use.
do not use it.
Where do we store this? Like how? Like it's okay on her person?
Yeah, usually if I'm at
She was able to have this on her person. It's going to be coming in a little package,
Okay.
kind of like similar to your glucometer.
Mhm.
So you want to make sure that you're just keeping it with you, keeping it in a cool area. The vials itself that you are going to be getting that come with it, or that's going to be your prescription, those have to be stored within the refrigerator. Not the freezer, but the refrigerator. Just because if it was to go to the refrigerator and freeze over, even if it thaws, that medication is going to be altered. There's going to be that separation of those like
Right.
particles.
So if we go to the
So it's
beach,
not gonna
then
work
we have to
properly.
bring a cooler to put the.
Exactly, you
Okay.
would just want to bring a cooler.
Okay. We just have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to remind me too.
Okay, yeah, I will.
Alright, so just to kind of break down how it works when you're taking your insulin. So again, we put it in, checking, making sure it's okay, prescribed to you. So at the bottom here, that's when you're going to be inserting your new needle. So it's going to be capped. So what's going to happen is that it's a twist on.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to twist it on. You're going to make sure that you set your dial according to what your glucose level is saying.
So I
and
have
what
to
the
check my
sliding scale.
blood glucose level before, right?
Yeah, so it's the kind of the process is check your glucose level.
Mhm.
Whatever it says, you're going to kind of come to a sliding scale.
Yeah.
So that sliding scale just kind of gives you a variant whether you need to take it or you don't need to take it or how much you need to take of it. So for example, if your level was like 6.5,
Mm-hmm.
it may suggest taking one
One
unit. So the way and the best thing about these pens is that it has this little dial at the top that all you have to do is just turn it slightly to that number
And
and then you're pretty much set to go.
This is after she has taken her blood sugar.
Yeah,
Okay.
so blood sugar,
and then look on
check
the
the
sliding
scale.
Okay.
Whatever the scale says for the units,
Yeah.
you kind of turn the dial to that, and then you kind of set it down, and then you prep the area that you're going to be injecting. So,
Is there any area I can inject
so they're going to be in like the fatty area. So the main one is your abdominals, kind of near your belly.
any size or
Any side, it does not matter. It can be around where your tricep is, like the back of your arm.
Okay.
It's going to be the upper part of your thigh on the outside,
Okay.
and if all else fails, buttocks. Right? So you have your thumb to also do
Maybe
this
my
one
mom
too.
can do that for me.
Yes.
Right?
So for the one in the back of the arm, you may need a census win and bum. You want to make sure that you're not, for the stomach, you're not just doing like the same general spot every single
Mhm.
time. You want to make sure that each time you do it, it's kind of
Different
going
spots.
around,
Okay.
just so there's enough like healing if you weren't
Mhm.
injecting it properly. So for injection, what you want to make sure you're doing is that wash your hands, keep
Mhm.
that clean, get an alcohol swab, wipe the area that you're going to be injecting. You're going to be kind of pinching it,
Pinching?
so you're going to be
Like this.
pinching that skin.
Try
Okay.
it. Try it.
Yeah,
Like
so
this?
pinching it just like that.
Okay.
You're going to get your pen set up.
Uh-huh.
You're going to poke it.
Poke it.
So make sure cap off, poke it,
Poke it.
and then you're going to press your pen. You're
How would
gonna-
I know if it's done?
So you're going to wait for a little click, and then you're going to kind of look at the dial, and it will tell you when it's done.
Okay.
After you're going to take it out,
Mm-hmm.
massage the area, and then you're good to go.
Good to go.
Okay.
yeah. So let's do like a little pop question. So let's say that you checked your glucose level and it was 13.
Yeah.
So by the sliding scale, how many units would you be administering?
So it says 4 units, is that right?
4 units?
4
All right.
units, yeah.
That's great. So how would you apply that to the
So I'm
needle?
just gonna turn the dial and make sure it's 4 units.
Okay.
And then when it's ready, I can choose any site. So mostly, I'm probably gonna use my abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna get an alcohol swab, swipe the area, and then pinch it,
Yep.
and then poke,
Yep.
and then press it, and then I'm gonna hear a click,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna see the dial, and then I know it's done. Just remove it, and
Yeah.
then kind of like just watch it.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct. So
Okay.
just like make sure just before, like if I did not already say already, you just want to make sure you're going in as a 90 degree, just because
How is
straight,
the
you want to
90
get straight.
Straight, so
in.
90 degrees straight?
Yeah, so you wouldn't want to be going on an angle or underneath.
Okay, so
you
just
want to
straight
right
like
in
that.
there.
Okay.
All right.
That's good.
All right. So again, check those glucose levels. Check the sliding scale. Then go by the pen.
Fine. Okay.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So I know that this is a lot of information to take in at one time. So I do have this pamphlet here that kind of highlights majority of what we talked about. So over here in this first one is going to be talking about how to check your glucose levels, the importance of it.
Okay.
The middle section is more about the insulin, the use, work, and like how much to take.
Mhm.
And this last one is just kind of resources that you can turn to if you do have any questions. And again, if you do have any questions like later on, feel free to just make that appointment with your doctor. Make sure that we are just communicating with one another,
Of course.
just so that we can manage this. And again, I want to make sure that you are keeping a daily log of your glucose levels when you check it,
Mhm.
as well as
My-
when you are doing it for your diet.
So she should also continue the diet as
Just
well?
continue
Yeah.
for a month, you said, right?
I want to be able to do this for a month, just so we can see any patterns
Okay.
trending, if it's improving, better, if we have to change our plan of course
Okay.
based on your lifestyles.
Okay.
Okay, you
So-
have homework, baby.
Oh, I know a lot of them.
Yeah, so I do understand like this is a big transition to
For
take.
sure, yeah.
But we want to make sure that this is kind of a smooth transition for
Of
you.
course,
Yeah.
of course.
I know my mom is always here for me,
Yeah, I'm
so.
so worried. Oh, but it's okay. Yeah, I'm really happy that you have helped us, right?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much.
So do you guys have any like lingering questions that you may need help with?
For now, nothing really.
Alright.
No.
I think you've answered all of our
Yeah.
questions for sure.
Alright.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much. It was
Melanie.
very nice to meet you.